So starting off with the core, you can see that there's two sections here. They're going to come together like this, and this is where you're going to be spinning it about. And the way it's going to work is you've got two caps and two centers, or over here. And basically what these are going to do is these are going to hook into here like this, but you're going to put a screw in here. What you're going to need is you're going to need two screws. You're going to need what's called 3M screws. These are 3mm screws. One is going to be 10 millimeters long. The other one is going to be 15 millimeters long. Now this one is 20 millimeters long, but you're going to need a 15 is the one that's recommended. And actually the 10 millimeter screw is going to be screwed into here, and the 15 millimeter one is going to be screwed into here, because this one, as it gets screwed down in, is going to be kind of combining with this small area over here. So it puts that in there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take one of our caps here. We're just going to screw these in. So basically one of the screws goes into here, like so, and the other screw goes into here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and screw this part in over here. Okay, just enough to give it some movement, but not too much. And this is going to be fitting onto here, and this is going to be one of our pieces here. So I want it to move pretty freely. I can always tighten it up later if I need to. Okay, so this will help kind of orient us in terms of what we got to do and where we got to be. I can keep this on fairly loose, tighten it later. I'm going to start working on what's going to be the center of my, I guess, main flat layer here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start latching things onto these guys here. So I'm going to first take one of these pieces here. This is one of our center layers, kind of has a wide mouth over there, and this is going to fit. Yeah, this is going to fit right in along in here. So I'm just going to gently place it so it fits pretty nicely here. So the next piece is going to be one of these guys here. Kind of has a tapered edge over here, if you can imagine it, and this is going to slip right in between here, where this cleft is over here. So you can see it sort of taking shape here. Now this is a full layer above what we just put in over here, just so that you get your bearings there. But anyway, that's going to be over here. So now we might as well start joining what's going to be next to here, which is going to join this top layer here to the middle layer, right there. So that piece is going to be this guy. Hope you can see that, hope you can visualize it, but notice it has this sort of slope over here. That slope is going to be in conjunction with this piece over here. So what that's going to do is that's going to nicely fit in between these two, like so. Alright, so you can kind of see that coming together over here. You put the piece that goes in over here. And the piece that's going to go in over here is again going to be another small centerpiece. It's going to be one of these guys. So if you can imagine that, if you can see, it's a kind of a wide mouth over here. And that's just going to slip in just like this. So this will go here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this upside down here so that things don't keep falling out like that. And I'm now that I can visualize it a little better, I'm just going to place this in. Okay, so this is how it's kind of fitting together, if you could see. So I might as well put the other one on the other side because we're building the center. So it's going to be the one that's the reciprocal of that, which is this, so that's going to come over here. It's really just the opposite piece. First we find an opposite piece, and then slide that in. So this is what that looks like. If I were to turn it upside down, you can see that over here. So now we're going to find the reciprocal to this piece here. And then likewise slide that in too, because these things do slide in pretty nicely. See right here. goes here, and this goes here. Okay, so we have this formation over here. And again, if I were to show it like this is what it would look like. So you can see most of our center forming. Now I'd like to fill in these on the side. So what goes over there? And that's going to be of this type here. There's going to be 8 of these pieces, kind of a deep mouth over here. See what it looks like. And this is going to slip its way right into here. And you kind of find the cleft where it's supposed to be. And the good thing about having it on both sides is if you can't make it fit here nicely, you can go on the other side, but you can see that fits really nicely over there. Now, the way that I have it set up is I've got all of my various pieces kind of together so that I know for the other side, I just take it from the other side, whoop, and put it in. So this one is going to put in here, plop it into place. Okay, so picking it up from here, now we're going to fill in the rest of this bottom side here. Just kind of fill in, this is going to be the 5 side area. I've got 3 of it in here so far. So the next thing that I'm going to put in, kind of to place it on this side over here, I'm going to be looking for this kind of piece over here, kind of this wide mouth here. And that I'm going to slip in right under here. Might as well do it on the other side here too. This guy here slips right on the side down in here. Okay, so right next to that, if you can visualize it, we're going to be looking for this piece, and this piece is going to slide right into here, and same thing on the other side is reciprocal. This piece oriented in this position is going to slide right into here. Now the one that goes right through this cleft to define the ends of the 5 side is going to be these long, big guys over here. And this slides right. And this has to go right deep into the core here. And this will slide right into here. This is just the reciprocal one over here. Bang. Okay. That didn't sound too healthy. But alright, so anyway, this is in. We've got this side here. Got our little wall over here. Okay, the one that's going to go right next to this is going to be this piece over here. So just kind of see what that looks like here. And this cleft here is going to line up with this, and this has to slip underneath here, so it slips nicely. And now we had a long one, you know, like one of these to go down here. The reciprocal to that is going to be this guy over here. So this long one kind of slips right in through here, just like so. So same thing on the other side. Find its reciprocal here. This guy will go here, slips right in, and this will slip right in over here. Okay, so now we've got ourselves this second layer here of our 5 layer here. Now let's see if we can start filling these guys in on the second layer. So what's supposed to go here? Here we're going to be using these pieces here. Take a look at that, and I'm going to put this tail here right into there, so that slips right over here. We put the reciprocal right over here, so now we've got these guys in. So it's coming together pretty well. Alright, so now we can build this layer up here, which is pretty much exactly the same as what we did down over here. So I'm just going to use the same pieces, do exactly the same thing. So just kind of following suit with that. This guy is going to come okay, and now we can start putting exactly the same pieces that we had already used over to here. So that's going to be this guy here, this guy right over here, place nicely here, boom, okay. Okay, now that you've put this other layer in here, we're just going to build up these two over here. So what's supposed to come across here? You see that we just have these 2 holes left over. For that, we're going to need these over here. So look at this. You can kind of tell because this shape is going to belong in here. So whichever one kind of matches up on this. Now ultimately you're going to be having two, they're going to be facing like this. They're going to be reciprocals like that. So, you know, these little clefts that come into here, you can match these over here and just slide them in. There we go. So, bang. Might as well put the other one in too. There's no specific direction that those go, so now those are in. So the next one is going to be these guys over here, and this is going to slide into here. Now you've got two to choose from, this or this. You can see that there's a symmetry between these two, so it's going to be this one that's going to come in first. And this has to kind of slide in, and it might even be prudent to take this one out and put this in. And then we can slide this one back in. There we go. And this is going to slide in on this side over here. Maybe take this out first. Slide this in. There we go. Okay, so we're starting to get a little more tension through here as we're doing this. Alright, so now we have the first half done, first half of the puzzle done, and the rest is really just kind of following suit until the very end. So you can see we've got the 5 layer here, we've got half of the 6 layer over here, and the 3 layer over here.